Good evening. Good evening. I want to briefly come to you guys and talk about unforeseen circumstances. What do we do when we are caught by surprise on different circumstances that we face each and every day, or it could be something that was unexpected and really wasn't prepared for it. What exactly do we do? And that's a good question. It depends on the situation. It depends on what it is and what you're facing at that time. Unforeseen circumstances sometimes can put us in a bind to really do some fast, critical thinking. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes when we are caught by surprise in these unforeseen circumstances, sometimes they can catch us off guard, and we have to do some very fast, critical thinking. We need to think of a good plan, a good master plan right then and there. We don't really have time to sort of things out and really think clearly. So sometimes unforeseen circumstances will put you in a position to where you really have to make some decision and make it quickly. Unforeseen circumstances sometimes can push you. Now, this may seem bizarre, but sometimes it can push you right into your blessings. Right into your blessings, because you have to think fast. You have to think fast. You don't have time to really ponder over anything. So I had gotten into a position where it was unforeseen, and I had to make a decision right then and there. I didn't have no time to think about anything, or how you can say, well, let me think about it and I get back with you at a later date or whatever. That was not the case. But the blessings fell right into my lap, and I was unaware that it really was a blessing. So I thought about it, made that quick decision. Things began to fall in my lap, the blessings, and doors began to open. Sometime when doors begin to open, those unexpected blessings, unforeseen circumstances will create a door opening for blessings. And at that time, you're thinking about, I don't have a choice to really sit down and meditate on this, to pray about it, to think about it. I just have to do it, and I have to do it now. So it's just like you weighing the options on whether to do it or not. Because if you don't do it, then you might miss your opportunity. So I made the quick decision. Everything turned out great. But sometimes those unforeseen circumstances do not turn out great. Then what do you do when they don't turn out great? I always say to come up with a plan, and it's good to have more than one plan. It's always good to have more than one plan, because the time that we are living in, you need more than one plan. Even the time that we're living in right now, if you do not make a lot of money, if your income is not where it's supposed to be in these times, because you just have to remember they just raised rent if you're in a place where you have to pay rent. I can remember last year when they raised the rent, I had to pay $300 to $400 more extra for rent. And thank God I was prepared, but it also kind of knocked me out of my range of what I was used to paying, and I had to revamp some things. I had to make different plans and really push back on a lot of things in order to meet these goals. So it was unfamiliar, it was uncomfortable, it was unforeseen. It just came after me, boom. When that increase came, it wasn't to where I would get used to it, but it was very uncomfortable. And I had to do some thinking, some strategizing on how to meet certain obligations at different times. So I kind of juggle everything around, and it was uncomfortable for maybe 3 or 4 months, getting used to the adjustment, getting used to juggling things around again. After I had been on this plan for quite some time, then I had got comfortable with that plan. But let me tell you, it also taught me a lesson at that particular time, to have more than one plan. I always have more than one plan. So now I have more than one plan. When that caught me by surprise, the hike and the raise of the rent increase, I decided then I need more than one plan. And these days, you actually need 2 or 3 jobs if you don't make a substantial amount of money or have the income coming in. So I learned from that increase, and now I have 3 plans. I have 3 plans to work with. And if I ever get to that 3rd plan, then it will be to a point to really think about it and to strategize a little bit more and make some more changes. But my question is, what do you do when unfamiliar circumstances begin to bombard you, overtake you? What do you do? Because one thing that I teach in my classes, and I don't teach finance, I don't do that, but I teach people how to strategize through life, just simple things through life in general, things that we deal with every single day, daily living needs. That's what I do. So I always tell them to come up with a good strategy plan, more than one plan. And I always give them an example of my life, what I have experienced through life in order to help them to navigate every day. So, if you don't have a plan or a strategy plan, a good one, then when things begin to fall in the loops, things begin to stress you out or overtake you, then what do? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I always encourage someone, start out with a 6-month plan, start out with an 8-month plan, start out with a year plan. Or if you are very, very patient, you can start out at a 5-year plan. But 5 years, some people have it down and they already know, they stay on track. But to me, that's a lot of work, and anything can change. Anything. Things change every day. But with that 6-month plan, that 8-month plan, that year plan, you can kind of strategize and move things around to meet your needs and obligations. But always have you a plan, and a good plan. So, I was talking to a young lady, and I'm about to wrap it up. And she was going through some things, and I looked at her life, I looked at some things, and I asked her some questions to really get her thinking, because these was unforeseen circumstances that she was facing right then and there. And sometimes all a person needs, just a little push, just a little encouragement, just a little support, so they can hear, and you can tell them, hey, you may be facing difficult trials and situations, but you're gonna make it. That's all some people need to hear, that they are gonna make it. Just those words coming out of someone's mouth, a person's mouth. Just that encouragement to let them know that, hey, this is just a stumbling block. This is just temporary. This is not gonna be like this always. So you're here now. You're in this stuck situation. You are in this unfamiliar place. You are in this unforeseen circumstances. But remember, it's not going to be like this always. It's not. But if we come up with a good plan, write your plans down and make them plain. Like the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. Make it plain so you can understand. And if you want to share that so others can understand your goals and your visions and where you want to be and where you're going, make it plain. Do you know, the enemy always want us to feel like we're stuck, we're in a dead-end situation, there's no way out, and we're not going to get past this situation at all. That's the trick of the enemy. That's why I always say the mind traps. If you listen to these mind traps, I talked to a young man today, and he was saying his mind was telling him to do some things that he know wasn't right. And he said he battled with his mind all night. Now he battled with the enemy all night, because that's where the enemy plays, in your mind. So he said he stayed up all night battling with his mind. And he finally defeated the thoughts that was in his mind. So he overcame the circumstances and the situation and the unforeseen circumstances and problems he was dealing with. Young man. And he said, you know, sometimes those thoughts began to come back. And I asked him a question. I say, well, what do you do when they begin to come back? Because I say we all have warning signs. Warning sign is something your instinct will tell you, your conscience will tell you, hey, this ain't right. It's going down. Something is going down. I don't feel right. This don't taste right. You know, your conscience will tell you that something is wrong. And when that happens, what do? And he said, I go and I exercise. I said, okay, that's a good coping strategy. I said, because exercising will get your mind off of things and you're focused on what you're doing. And I said, when you get through exercising, it makes you feel better. And I asked him, I said, does it come back or has it disappeared? He said, it's gone. I said, whatever works for you, you keep doing it. I said, you keep doing it. Because we all, and why I'm saying this, we all need a strategy, a coping strategy to figure out things when life want to give us lemons. Like they say, when life give you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, that's just like when life give you lemons, make lemonade. When life throw out all these things unexpected, be prepared for it. Get ready for it. And how you get ready for it is having a strategy plan that will work, a good plan. You know, so back to the young lady. Life had, you know, really throwed her a curveball. And all she needed to hear that she has someone that is cheering for her. Yay! That can give her a little push along the way. So just remember, the times that we are living in, we're going to need somebody's help because we cannot do it all. We're going to need someone's help. We're going to need someone's support. And we're going to need someone's encouragement to make it day by day. Because we never know what curveball that life is going to throw at us. But we have to be prepared and ready to catch that ball and throw it back to the enemy and say, no, that's not mine. You can have that because it don't belong to me. But what belongs to me is for me. What belongs to me is my peace, my joy. What belongs to me, God had already told me, is written down. So remember, when life begins to try to throw you a curveball, remember to catch that ball and throw it right back. because whatever's for you, it is for you, says the Lord of hosts. All right, thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel, Vicki Johnson. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Please follow, share, and like my page. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.